Good evening and welcome to my third episode of my brand new podcast, the Gorgie Boys podcast. I hope everyone's doing well. You've had a really good Christmas. I was having a great Christmas until Hearts ruined Boxing Day, which I'll get to very shortly. But anyway, the live chat is open as always, so drop a few comments in there, but keep it clean. I was going to say it's a family show. It's not, but keep it clean anyway. And if you've not subscribed already, it would be much appreciated if you could subscribe to the channel. It would really be much appreciated. Thank you to everyone that already has. Like I said, it is a brand new podcast. Hope everyone's enjoying it so far. I'm not going to enjoy the next few wee while anyway because I'm talking about Hearts. Anyway, let's get... Good evening, Robbie. I hope you're well, mate. So yeah, I am going to look back on the Derby defeat yesterday, which is going to be very, very annoying, to be honest. I will also look ahead to the game on Sunday against Ross County, although looking forward is not the right word to use for that. I'll talk about Neil Critchley. I'll talk about obviously the season as a whole and a few other things as well. Good evening to Sean. I hope you're well, mate. So anyway, let's get to yesterday. The Boxing Day fixture, Hearts against Hibs at Tynecastle. Hibs had not won at Tynecastle since 2019. Hearts went into this in the back of a 2-1 victory over St Johnstone. Hibs on the back of 2 straight victories after really good victories against Ross County and against Aberdeen. The game at Pittodrie again, I was expecting them to win. Hearts did make 2 changes for the game against St Johnstone. So yesterday we brought back Craig Halkett and Benny Miningame, and out went Adam Forrester and also Malachi Boateng. Good evening to Callum McKay. Hope you're well, mate. If the Dundee County game isn't to go, Hearts are dead. Good evening to Sean. So the Hearts team yesterday was Craig Gordon goal, back 4 of Oya Goki, Rolls, Halkett and Penrice. In the centre midfield, it was Benny and Devlin. Then on the left, it was Blair Spittle. On the right, Musa Drami with Lauren Shankland in supporting James Wilson. Sean says, I'm okay, just pissed off about yesterday. Robbie, I need to apologise for it's in the Derby score. I really enjoy watching Penrith's great player. I forgot you did that, Robbie. You predicted he'd still win. Didn't like you for that now. I'm joking, it's fine. A lot of folks said the same thing, so it's fine. But anyway, going into this game, and I say this quite a lot about any Hearts game, but especially at home, and especially a Derby game, I want us to play with intensity. I want us to start the game well. I want us to press and be aggressive. We didn't do that yesterday. I was really surprised at how flat we started. Hibs actually started far, far better than us. I thought they got a foothold very early in the game. Now, there was an early VAR check, and nobody knew what it was for. Now, Nick Walsh was the referee, John Beaton was on VAR, but there was a potential penalty check. Now, I don't know why. It was a challenge from Kai Rolls in the box. Now, there was no handball, there was no high foot. No one seems to know what it was for. There was no penalty given, thankfully. But about a minute later, Hibs do take the lead. JM6, the linesman took a heavy hit. He certainly did. All right, Aviation, hope you're well, mate. Yeah, he certainly did. That was actually one of the highlights of the day, to be honest, because nothing else went right for us, but that was quite funny. But, Hibs did take the lead from a corner kick, and for me, it's really poor from Hearts. Now, again, there was a VAR check. It was a header from Josh Campbell. It hit off Kai Rolls at the back of the net, but there was a lengthy VAR check because it looked potentially like Rocky Bashiri was offside or he was obstructing Craig Gordon's view. After about 4 or 5 minutes, the goal was eventually given, and I'll be honest, it was the right call. I don't think it was wrong with it at the time. Connor says, "Were you at the game, Graeme?" No, I thought about going, but A, I couldn't get a ticket, and B, I couldn't have got there because there were no buses running, so I couldn't have got there anyway. Robbie says, "I can't believe how long VAR took to check that. Bashiri done absolutely nothing wrong." See, when I first saw it, I thought, right, he's in front of Gordon, but he's not obstructing the view. I agree. I don't think it was I shouldn't be disallowed at all. And I hate saying that as a Hearts fan, but it was the right call. But why it took that long, I genuinely don't know. And this is something about VAR. Decisions like that take far too long. And it was pretty clear it was the wrong decision to rule it out. Sean McNeil says, I was at the game yesterday. Yeah, I mean, after that, you're wondering how Hearts are going to react. We would have come back in there, we'd start to take control, but we didn't. If you look at that first half as a whole, Hibs on the far better side. They looked at the game plan, they had a structure, they looked quite positive going forward. I mean, the midfield battle, they won that midfield battle, but that's the problem with yesterday. Hibs won every single battle over the park, and that's something that you can't do in a derby game. You've got to win your battles, and we didn't win any of them. I was at the game in the Hibs end. You could see Hearts couldn't have cared less about winning. There was just no desire there. Sam Patterson hopefully get a win on Sunday. I'm going to come back to that point you made there, Connor, because you are right. County away is not the game you want after a derby, especially with the home form recently. Yeah, that's a worry, which I will come to, because if they win, they're 5 points ahead. But just sticking with the derby yesterday, there was no reaction from Hearts, which really concerned me. And again, there was no reaction from the crowd either. Like, there was no real spark from the Hearts fans yesterday. It was like, right, go and come back into this. And we didn't do anything. Hibs completely controlled that game. David Gray got his tactics spot on. I was worried before the game about Ewan and Boyle with the pace that they had, but it wasn't even them. It was they controlled the midfield. Like, guys like Joe Newell controlled that midfield. We couldn't get near them. I had no issue with the Hearts team, but I thought the team was fine. The setup was fine, but we just had no control of that midfield. And if it wasn't for Craig Gordon in the first, let's say, 40 minutes, we could have made 3 or 4 down. He's made 3 really big saves in that first half. It felt like a second goal for Hibs was coming rather than us actually doing anything. The Ultra still protested. No, they were there. They were there yesterday. They did say they would be there, and they were. Robbie Collins, Craig Gordon showing you yet again why it's so important. The only reason you weren't more down by half-time. Exactly. I've seen a few folks saying could have done better for the first goal. Could they have come for that? He couldn't have done, because Bashiri is there, standing in front of him, but he wasn't blocking his view. So I don't think he could have come for that. But he made 3 or 4 really big saves in that first half to keep us in it. I was screaming at the TV, like probably most Hearts fans were, to get more aggressive, get in front, get in his faces. There was nothing like that. Our game plan yesterday, and I said this in a TikTok I did earlier, seemed to be try and get the ball to Penrice and hope he creates something, because our only creativity is on the left-hand side with Penrice and Spittle. If they don't create, we've got nothing. Oyegoke, I thought, tried to get forward on the right-hand side, but there was no real quality going at the box. It was very, very poor from Hearts. You know, Hibs would have been scratching their heads thinking, how are we not more than 1 goal up here? Well, the answer to that is Craig Gordon. You're right, Robbie. Gordon was brilliant yesterday. He's going to be 42 very, very shortly, and he's not lost any of that. He's not lost any of that kind of that goalkeeper agility, which you would think he would do at a certain age and coming back from double leg break. But he's just been brilliant so far. But we do get level not long before half-time. Jay knows that how we managed to get level in that game. The one bit of quality down the left-hand side, really good balling from Blair Spittle. It's a header by Shanklin, but it's not going anywhere. It hits Rocky Bashir and goes into the back of the net. Jordan Smith's got absolutely no chance. I was just waiting for the net to move when Shanklin was through. No clue why he took an extra touch there. I will come to that. JM6 enthusiast, Gordon, as much as he struggles with decision sometimes, is one of the best shot stoppers in Scotland at 41, which is mad. He is. Callum Mackay, what's your thoughts on Rolls apparently attracting interest from other clubs? I saw that on X earlier on. Barry Anderson posted that. He's played 100 games for Hearts now. I think he's lucky to have played that many games. See, sometimes I think Rolls is fine. Sometimes I think he's actually all right. But other times I think he's far too soft. He gets pushed off the ball far too easily. He wasn't awful yesterday, but he wasn't great either. But nobody was. If Rolls is going to leave in January, fine. Take the money we might get for him and take it. Because I just think he's an average defender that's managed to get 100 games for Hearts, because we've got nobody else. But like, I go through phases of really liking Kai Rolls and thinking he's actually done really well, and then other phases I'm thinking, you're just too soft, mate. But, you know, we get the equaliser, and I did a video at half-time saying, I can't believe we're level, because we've done nothing to deserve it. We created nothing. And you even listen to the guys on commentary, like the guys like Neil McCann and stuff, saying Hearts do not deserve this. Hibs should be at like 3 or 4 up, and they did deserve to be. Jamie, that atmosphere by Hearts fans didn't feel like a derby game. HMFC edits, hey Graeme, GM6 enthusiast, would you take Scott Fraser back? Would I hell? I was not a Scott Fraser fan. I'll be honest with that. I wasn't a Scott Fraser fan. I don't think it did enough for me. But that's not the issue we've got. So we went in 1-1 at half-time, and you think, right, second half, 50 minutes at half-time, Cripps will get into them, will be a lot better second half. Vargas got Hibs best and our worst. We'll batter them next time. I wouldn't be guaranteeing that, to be honest, because they were really put at Easter Road as well. Robbie Collins, obviously I don't see much Hearts fans' comments after the game, but I hope people aren't digging into Wilson too much. I get the team need to be better, but being flung into a derby must be difficult. Nobody's playing with Wilson, mate. Trust me. I've been on Twitter, I've been on TikTok. Nobody's having a go at Wilson. Everyone knows that that's a hard game. Now, he scored Easter Road when he came off the bench. Started yesterday, didn't really get a lot of service, but then neither did any of the front line, to be honest. I thought the game really passed Musa by. Like, first half, he did nothing, but nobody did. Like, I couldn't look at that first half and say that any outfield player did anything. Our best player was our goalkeeper. You know, midfield, I liked having Benny back, but again, he couldn't get into the game. Devlin wasn't his normal self. He got booked. Shot corner. Cammy Devlin get booked in a derby game. Cammy Devlin got booked full stop. Always happens. But I'm expecting a reaction in the second half. To be fair, we were slightly better second half. We had more possession. We had more grip on the game, but without creating anything. Like Jordan Smith, I can't think of a single save he has to make in the second half. And that's what is really frustrating. I've seen numerous Hibs goalkeepers over the years that are really, really poor. And I think Hibs have got more. Jordan Smith and Bursic. But we did nothing to test Jordan Smith yesterday. He only had one thing to do, put the ball in the net. That was it. We created nothing in the second half. And then when look, young team, how can a team have such a big drop-off from last season, third to bottom? It's mad. We're not bottom yet, but we might be. Yeah, I mean, it is true. It has been a massive, massive fall from grace. And I think there's a lot of things you can look into. The former Lawrence Shankland, 31 goals last season, 3 this season. It's not been good enough. Other players have not performed. Our top scorer is Blair Spittle, who's got 5 goals this season. It's not just Lawrence Shankland, it's the whole team. And I'll get to the subs in a second because that made a massive difference for Hibs. If Halkett in more pace, he'd be better than Rolls. Yeah, and I've seen a few folk as well on X and stuff saying, would you bring Lewis Nielsen back? I mean, is Lewis Nielsen really going to solve our problems? I don't think so. I think he's decent, but I don't think he's going to end our problems at centre back. We need more than that. Dundee and Hearts to get relegated. Oh Christ! I couldn't handle this again, man. That's a point we'll get to shortly as well about Anne Budge and stuff. But I mean, yeah, second half with a lot of the ball, but did nothing with it. And then this for me is where the game changes. 70 minutes. Hearts make a change. We bring on Jan Danda for Blair Spittle. But 2 minutes before that, Hibs had made 2 changes. They brought on Dwight Gale for Yuan, and they brought on Kwon for New. Those 2 subs made a difference, which I'll get to in a minute. But our subs, I said this on X as well, Hibs subs made them better. Ours made us worse. And that's true. They did. Because we also brought on 78 minutes, we brought on Boateng and Vargas for Benny and Musa. And 85 minutes, we brought on Boyce for Halkett. What was that going to do? Seriously. Neil just put subs on in panic. Danda and Boyce made 0 difference in the game. Is Lewis Nielsen not just on loan to St Johnstone? Yes, I believe he is. We could recall him, but whether we do, I don't know. And Reece Welsh, Hibs could get Europe, but I can't see it, but we could get top 6. Listen, Hibs have been very good recently. They've turned it around. That's 3 wins in a row now for Hibs. They've turned it around. Still can't believe we're watching Liam Boyce in 2024. It's madness that he's still playing with a top Prem team. Mate, honestly, it boils my blood that he's still coming on. He played a European game earlier on in the season, and I thought, oh my word, this is what we're subjected to, Liam Boyce, because we've got nothing else. But this is what I'm talking about the subs. Theirs made a big difference because 10 minutes after Dwight Gale came on, he scores. Great ball in from the left. It's a great run from Gale across the Hearts defenders and a lovely finish. But what really annoys me is if you look at the build-up to the goal, look where he is. Gale starts that because he keeps the ball in on the right-hand side. And then as the play is building, he just wanders right across the Hearts backline. Not one Hearts player is looking at him. Not one Hearts player knows where he is. And it's a lovely finish, but nobody looks at him. It's a great finish. But this is what I mean. Hibs sub make a difference because at the 70-minute mark, Kwon comes on and shows up the Hibs midfield. And we then lose everything that we had at the start of the second half. We lost a complete balance of that midfield. Jan Danda, who I was excited about when we signed him, has offered nothing. He's got 1 goal against Dinamo Minsk. Now, I know folk will say, but he's not had a lot of game time. When he has played, he's been awful. And yesterday summed that up. In the very last minute, he tries to control the ball on the far side and puts it out of play. Jan Danda looks miles at his depth. I've seen a few folks said, see when we got to Ross County on Sunday, can we leave him at Ross County? I wouldn't quite go that far. But he has been really, really poor. I've been so frustrated. More comments here. I love all these comments. Thank you, guys. Keep them coming in. I feel like Critchley's main weakness is making the wrong subs at the wrong time. Yep. Alexander Duncan. Hi, Graeme. It's Sunday. We're winning the league. JM6 Enthusiast. I will not tolerate Liam Boyce slander. He's goated on FM. Listen, I like Liam Boyce at the start, but he's just too old and he doesn't offer anything. I feel bad for Naismith. He changed his tactics too quick and started losing. Kwon showed why he's got a good contract at Celtic. He can be a great player when he's playing well. Kwon made a difference. Like, he came on and showed up his midfield and they dominated the game after that. But Gale's the one that made the difference. Like I said, we're bringing on Boateng and Vargas for Benny and Musa. Again, Benny can't last a full game. And that's a big, big problem. I love Benny, but he can't stay fit. You cannot have a guy that only plays one game in 10. You can't do that. Oh, sorry, Goggy. I'll go back to your comments, mate. Here we go. Graeme, see how we aren't consistent in terms of results. I think it's because of Naismith not focusing on fitness in pre-season, meaning that the players try against the likes of St Johnstone, then they might be tired for the following week after trying against St Johnstone and winning. This is the thing, right? And I will say this as well. Sorry, we'll just get rid of that comment. But I said this previously, right? We played 3 pre-season fixtures. That's not enough. Pre-season games are made to work on fitness. And we only had 3 pre-season games. That wasn't enough. When you're playing European games, you know you're playing Thursday, Sunday. You've got to play more games than that. I've said it for weeks. That squad does not look fit enough. If you look at some of the games on the Critchley so far, we started some first halves quite well. Ammonia, Heidenheim, St Mirren. We started some first halves really well. And then we tie our second half because the players aren't fit enough. So it's a good point you made there, Aviation, because they don't look fit enough. Yesterday wasn't that, though. It wasn't about a fitness thing for me. I'm going to come on to that in a minute. But, so like I said, when Hibs get the second goal, again, you're looking for a reaction, but it was none. There wasn't any kind of reaction. And somebody made the point earlier as well about Lawrence Shankland. Now, Shankland wasn't great yesterday, but in the very last minute, he's got a massive opportunity. The ball's played up to it. Well, the ball's played up. It's a long ball, which is what we did most of the game. It's flicked on to Shankland. He takes a really good touch, and he's right in front of goal, in the box. All he's got to do is shoot. But for some reason, he takes 2 touches and goes to the right-hand side, and it loses the chance that he's got. I don't know why he does that. Last season, that's touch and hit. He's not doing that this season. That shows the lack of confidence he's got, and that was our last chance to get back in the game. Now, we wouldn't have deserved a draw, but would have taken it because they were really, really poor. But yeah, that chance was really, really frustrating. More comments coming in here. I'm so confident we beat Aberdeen. I reckon we beat Aberdeen 3-0 minute. Aberdeen have really fallen off. I'm surprised at that. Naismith had a good first game against Rangers, changed the tactic for Dundee, then pumped, and then it got spiraled out of control. We lost 8 games in a row in league and cup, and that's what screwed us. Having that bad start has screwed us. We were all kind of sitting there after the Rangers game thinking, actually, that's positive. And I'll admit, I said after the Rangers game, I think we'll get third with a squad. How wrong have I been? We have been brutal. I'm going to get to the stats in a second, but what I will say is, and Connor says, if you told me Hearts had been a relegation battle after last season, I would have thought you were an alien. Mate, I agree. Nobody saw this coming. Not one Hearts fan saw this coming. I certainly didn't. Yeah, playing 3 pre-season games when you aren't in the cup group is bad. I don't understand what Naismith was doing with that. You have to play more games than that when you've got big, big games to come. I'll never understand why he did that, and I'll never understand why he didn't send another striker. He let Tagawa go. There was Tagawa the answer? No, but we had no other options there. And now we're bringing on Liam Boyce and Kenny Vargas because you've got nothing else there. If there's any more money, we need Critchley to pull some rabbits out the hats with loan players in January with his contracts. Hibs dominated the game. We should have won the game more than 2 goals. Absolutely. Like I said earlier on, Hibs were frustrated going in at half-time 1-1 because we're the far better side. And this is what I'm going to come on to now, because I'm sure that everybody has seen what happened at Hospitality yesterday, where Scott Wilson had to tell folk to shut up that were basically shouting out when Lawrence Shankland and Craig Gordon were speaking. I understand why he did that, because obviously it's disrespectful to shout out when people are talking, but I understand why Hearts fans did it. We've just lost a derby game. It's not like it's no disrespect, but Motherwell or St Johnstone were playing. It's Hibs in a derby, and we were crap. and Shanklin was crap. I think Scott Wilson's got to understand that. There's a massive, massive frustration and anger after yesterday. You can lose games of football. Like, I wasn't angry about the defeat because defeats happen. I was angry at the performance because it was so poor for a derby game. We were flat as anything. We offered nothing. Some players on that team just didn't look like they cared. And that's something that I can't understand. It's a derby game. See, if you've got to be motivated for a derby game, you shouldn't be playing. Now, we heard Neil Critchley after the game saying, if you want to play for this club, you've got to accept responsibility. And he's right. You've got to take accountability. Now, again, I saw an interview with Benny Beningame in Evening News before I came on here, and he's talking about that. He's talking about the fact that when you play for a club like Hearts, you've got to accept the fans' anger, and we are in a relegation battle. Benny basically said that, and he said players have got to realise that. He's right. But I don't think other players realise this. I think they think, like Andrew McKinley a few weeks ago, we'll get top 6, we'll be fine. Nowhere near it. We are 10 points off 6th. We're not going on a run. Let me see some more comments here. We played more in pre-season, but they're behind closed doors. My friend's dad works for Partick Thistle. They told me we were okay then, and that's how I know. I'm missing with one like that, and we thought we'd be a real threat this year. I feel like no one predicted Hearts to be below top 6. The odds must have been mental. I think they would have been. I genuinely don't even know what it would have been like, but it's just bizarre how bad we've been. Vargas go, I reckon there's something in Boyce's contract that gives us a fine if we don't play him. Can't believe he gets on the bench over Oda. Where was Oda yesterday as well? Like, he wasn't even on the bench. Like, I'm not Oda's biggest fan, but where was he? I like Benny. It would be fantastic for us if you go down. Did I say that? That's cool. You've got to say, though, full credit to Shankly for doing that after a derby defeat. I can't believe he actually done it. I mean, I suppose he is the captain, so you understand why he did it. But I also understand why Hearts fans are angry. Like, after that performance yesterday, I was angry, but now it's more apathy. It was just unacceptable. Like, and the thing I've said as well is the fact that no one's surprised that we got beat, which is another thing as well. Like, I spoke to a couple of mates after the game that messaged me on WhatsApp, and they said they're done with Hearts. They basically said there wasn't even a surprise yesterday. It wasn't. But that's where Hearts are just now. We're losing a derby game, and folk are not surprised. We were just so toothless yesterday, but it's both ends of the park. Now, here's the stats. In all competitions, we've played 28 games. We've won 6. We've lost 17. We've drawn 5. We've scored 27, and we've conceded 42. We've conceded 42 goals in all competitions. In the league, we've played 19. We've won 4. We've lost 11. We've drawn 4. We've scored 21 and conceded 29. 29 goals in the league we've conceded. Now, here's Neil Critchley's overall stats. See, I did my homework when I came on here. So, Neil Critchley in all competitions says he's been at Hearts since October. Has played 16. He's won 5, lost 8, drawn 3. We've scored 19 and lost 22. And in the league, under Critchley, he's had 11 games. We've won 4, lost 5, drawn 2. We've scored 15 and conceded 14. Now, that doesn't actually look that bad when you think about it, but we're second bottom of the league. Now, we go into Ross County on Sunday, which is now our biggest game of the season. And I feel like I've said that for weeks, but this now generally is. Ross County got a fantastic result against Dundee yesterday, their first away win on the road. Big, big result. Didn't expect that. But if we get beat by Ross County, we're 5 points behind Ross County. We're 5 points behind Hibs. Like I said, we're 10 points off top 6. We're in serious trouble. And people have got to realise that. Now, my worry for County is we don't have Cammy Devlin. He's suspended. I'd assume that Botan comes in. But I genuinely don't know what team's going to turn up on Sunday. Because if I'm Neil Critchley, I wouldn't even want to play half that side because they're not good enough. But this is our biggest game of the season now. We're 2 points behind. And we're 2 points in front of St Johnstone, who go to Celtic Park. I never thought I'd be so glad to see Celtic playing St Johnstone. And that is how bad this is, that I'm praying for St Johnstone to get beat, which they will. Honestly, we've fallen so badly, it's incredible. And it's unacceptable how bad we are just now. But we have to go to Dingwall and win. Now, the last time we went there, we lost 2-1 last season. We've already played Ross County this season at Tynecastle, drew 1-1. But again, we fell behind in that game. We were a goal behind to Ronan Hale, who's looked really good. We got back to 1-1. Lawrence Shanklin's first goal of the season, by the way, at that point. But this is a worry. This is a genuine worry. Enough is enough. Get me in the dugout. I got Dundee the cup double in my first season. Sean McNeil, bring it under 20s on Sunday. Do you know what? I would even bring in guys like Bobby McCluskey. I'd play Macaulay Tate. Could they do any worse than what we've got already? And it's not even the defeats. It's the way we're getting beat. That's what really annoys me or frustrates me. It's the lack of effort. It's the lack of desire. Like, see when we go 1-0 down yesterday at Hibs, it's a derby game. Where's the anger of the players? Where's the anger of people saying, right, let's get up for this? There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing in that performance yesterday that said that these players were hurting. Now, again, they'll come out over the next couple of days and say, oh, the players are angry, they're frustrated, they're hurting. I'm not seeing that. The fans are. Some of the players don't give a shit. I would exempt Craig Gordon from that because I think he does. James Penrith is the only one that's actually looked a real threat this season. Blair Spittle, Cammy Devlin to an extent. The rest of them, there's nothing. I think Danda is cursed after saying they could be in a title fight. Yeah, that was... See, at the time, I thought that was actually... I didn't mind it because it's a bit of kind of... I like the fact that he was talking positively, but it really hasn't worked. St Johnstone were fairly decent against us, but the superior Sam Dalby saved us. Yeah, Sam Dalby's been excellent. 9 goals this season. He's been brilliant. There was a point where Shanklin lost the plot after the midfielder missed the ball. I don't know if that was a good or bad thing, but he looked raging. Yeah, I think that was Cammy Devlin potentially that he was angry at. And there was times yesterday where Shanklin was angry, but who was he angry at? Was he angry at his teammates, himself? There was no leadership in that team yesterday. There was nobody saying, listen, this is a derby game. We're getting beat here. Pick yourselves up and fucking start showing something. There was nothing. See if that's me, obviously being a Hearts fan. If I'm a player, I'm in that dressing room at half-time smashing things up. Because I'd be raging at that first half performance because that was unacceptable. And then I'm expecting a second half reaction. Like I said, there was a reaction in terms of controlling the game until the substitutions. But we didn't create none. There was no real efforts at Jordan Smith's goal. And this is the problem as well. I think we took a gamble with Benny yesterday, didn't look fully fit. This is something that's happened to Hearts over the years, though, Vargas. We do it all the time. We bring players back that are not fit enough. Look at Craig Halkett. We brought him back in a European game against RFS, and he went off after about 20 minutes because he wasn't fit. We do this all the time. The highlight of the game is the linesman getting smacked in the face. We shouldn't laugh, but that was quite funny. I did find myself laughing at that. Graeme would chuck your water bottle to the extreme boots if we fly about. Oh, mate, I would be. I'd be going mental in that dressing room. This is the thing with Critchley, right? And I've seen a few folks saying this, and I agree with this. Critchley comes across as quite a nice guy, but he doesn't seem the type that's going to shout at folk, like get really angry. And that's what Hearts need. They need a leader in there. They need someone that's going to pin folk up against the wall and fucking have a go at them. We don't have that. There's nothing in that dressing room that does that. I have heard Hearts are linked with Ollie McBurney. I hope not. Liam Boyce and Ollie McBurney. The dream team partnership. Hearts players rely on Gordon too much sometimes. I would agree. Robbie Collins, my Graeme would be faster than that. Mate, I'm 46. I could run faster than both those put together, mate. But yeah, I mean, it is worrying. Like, we're second bottom of the league. It is worrying. And again, looking at yesterday, and again, I said this last week when Hearts beat St Johnstone. You're looking at the league table thinking, right, who do we need to win here? I shouldn't be looking at that. I should be looking at that top 3, top 4 thinking, right, can we catch Rangers? Can we catch whoever? But I'm not. Instead, I'm thinking, can we get away from St Johnstone? Can we catch Ross County? That's embarrassing for Hearts. We are staring at our 3rd relegation under Anne Budge's stewardship. Now, I put on TikTok yesterday, sack the board. And I still back that because they're culpable for this. Now, somebody went to me yesterday, what's Anne Budge done wrong? Well, look at it. We've been relegated twice. She kept Craig Levein on, even though she sacked him. And then during COVID season, when she sacked him, she brought in Daniel Stendel. But who showed Daniel Stendel around? Craig Levein, who was apparently sacked, but wasn't sacked because he was still there. We are staring at our 3rd relegation under Anne Budge's stewardship. That's not good enough. And I've said it so many times as well, there is not a football person on that board. And there should be. Let's get to some more comments here. Get yourself a Jim Goodwin and you're safe. Knew we were going to say that. Not saying you need David Martindale by any stretch of imagination, but Hearts need someone with his attitude. When it's not going right, he gets angry. I'm going to come on to critically now, right? Because I think at the start when he came in, now I wasn't a massive fan, but the analytics chose him. They thought he was the right person, so fine. And there was improvement. Like the first few games when he came in, I thought, yeah, this is better. We beat St Mirren, we beat Ammonia. There was definitely a change. There was more aggression. We started games far better, a far better tempo. I could see a style of football. That's gone now. Like recently, I've not seen any of that. It's been side to side, it's backwards passing. When he first came in, the passing was far crisper, it was sharper. That's gone. Like these last few weeks have been awful. Look at Kilmarnock game, right? Where Kilmarnock had into 10 men after 6 minutes, Robbie D's getting sent off. We've got 11 men. We go a goal down through a penalty, James Penrice. But then we did nothing. We created nothing. Where was the change of system? Where was the change of style? There was nothing. All he did was chuck on subs that made no difference. Jan Dander, Liam Boyce, same subs every week. George Grant, who actually hasn't come on the last 2 games. But he didn't change anything. Like, I'm looking at my head coach to think, right, what have you got here? How are we going to break this Kilmarnock team down? Nothing. We then go into Petrol Cup, a game that I admit, I said weeks ago, I thought that was the game that would get us into the playoff. Well, I got that wrong as well. I'm not making predictions again because I get them all wrong. But Petrol Cup, where was the game plan? There was no style. There was nothing. Again, it seemed like get the bottle of Penrice, hope he does something. Nothing. We were awful in that game. We then beat St Johnstone. First half was better. Second half was pretty flat, but we won the game. And then yesterday, it's the same as the last few weeks. Nothing's changed. What is he doing in terms of coaching? Now, again, I know that these aren't his players. It's not his squad. He needs January. But what is he doing in the training ground? Apparently, he's a training ground coach. Well, what's he doing then? Because we're not improving in the last few weeks. We've actually got worse. I think one thing that Dainsmith did well is that he made sure that the players wanted to run through a brick wall for each other. At times, yeah. You've got to F and die to get 3 points. Graeme in the Hearts locker room. Mate, I would be enough. I would generally say something like that. Mackenzie Kirk looks a class player. I'm not going to take credit for this, but obviously in the locker room, we've got a guy called Alistair that comes on, a big St Johnstone fan. He asked me about Mackenzie Kirk, and I said he'll be a really good signing. He's a natural finisher, just like his dad Andy Kirk, who was at Hearts, and I thought he would do very well. And I'm glad that we improved right, because I'm a massive fan of Mackenzie Kirk. Hearts should go for Lyle Cameron. Need some attack-minded midfielders with Neuenhoff out. That's a fair point. That's something that I think needs to happen in January. Our midfielders is very similar. When you've got Benny, you've got Cammy Devlin, you've got Boateng, who don't shoot. Like they don't go forward. Devlin at times does. He got a couple of goals against Rosenborg. 2 of the most Cammy Devlin goals you'll ever see. But Benny and Boateng don't shoot. They don't go forward. They got a nosebleed when they go forward. Blair Spittle, yes, is an attacking midfielder, but he's playing more on the left-hand side now. We need that more box-to-box midfielder that hopefully Neuenhoff might be when he comes back. But again, where's Neuenhoff? He was due back weeks ago and he's still not back yet. When we just kick the ball out the field, it's a 50-50. Exactly. And James Wilson's not going to win that, is he? I felt so sorry for Wilson yesterday. He got no service. He wasn't getting any abuse for the fans because fans know he's only 17. That's a difficult game for him. I thought Musa was out his depth yesterday. I said that earlier. I don't think he was good enough at all, but it wasn't just him. First relegation was under Romanov, realistically. Second because of COVID. I can't see people are blaming them on Budge. Well, if you can't see that, then you're watching the wrong thing. All right, HMFC fan. All right, Graeme, mate, how's things aside from the football? All right, aye. Not bad, apart from Hearts letting me down again. Nicky Cannon had the right back on toast. Nicky Cannon's been really good. I've actually been very impressed with him. I'd rather have Nicky Cannon than Oyugoke, but there we go. Aberdeen relegated next. I can't believe how bad Aberdeen have been. Another defeat, 4-0. Who saw that yesterday? Nobody. They've fallen off a cliff as well. If there's no sign of improvement, how long would you give it before you get rid of Critchley? So, this is what I'll come on to the January window. Now, I think we need 2 centre-backs because Kent and Rose are out. We need at least 1 striker. We need with pace. We need 2 wide players with pace. And I'd like to see us sign a ball-playing midfielder. Like like I said, we don't have that in midfield. Benny, Boateng and Devlin are far too similar. I want a playmaker in midfield. Robert Snodgrass was meant to be that, but he was too old and he was crap. But that's what I'd like to see. But I'm going to give Critchley longer time to see what he does with this January window. Now, again, I said to somebody earlier on as well that I think January is a hard month to sign players because teams know that you're desperate, so they put the prices up for folk. Whether it's going to be loan signings that we make, I don't know. But we need at least 6 players in, and we need at least a few out. Boyce needs to go. Vargas signed a 5-year contract, but he's crap. Grant needs to go. Barry McKay needs to go. We need to get folk off the wage bill that are not good enough. Whether that'll happen, I don't know, because who's going to take them? But I reckon I want to see where Hearts are come middle of March. If we're still down the bottom end of the table, then there'll be questions after Critchley. But I'm hoping that if he gets the players that he wants in, and analytics, as I was saying this, of course it will, that we might start climbing the league. But my worry is I don't see us going on a run. Like last season, we went 12 games without a defeat. This team's not doing that this season. We've won 6 games all season. I don't see this team having a run. Like, we might go up to Ross County and win, but then we'll get beat by Motherwell next week. And you're back at square one again. It's the same football every week, and you've got to say, if Ross County play anything like they did against Dundee, you're in massive trouble. I completely agree. Let's see some more comments here. I'm loving all the comments, guys. Thank you. I think Halkett and Devon were the ones showing passion moment. Yeah, I mean, again, Halkett was okay yesterday. It was culpable for the second goal as well. Like, he's experienced, and he doesn't see Dwight Gale coming behind him. He's got to deal with that. I hope Taylor comes back from injury soon as an amazing player for us. Yeah, but you're only going off the first couple of games, though. He was good, but then I think after a few games, he looked a bit dodgy, but maybe that's not on him. I think it's the way that Stephen Naismith played. But yeah, I mean, Gerald Taylor, he has to come back as well. But, I mean, the thing with Daniel Oligoki, I think he's quite solid defensively, but going forward, he offers nothing for a right-back position. We'll look at Penrith on the left. Constant ball before we put the balls in the box. Generally, I reckon if we get Dalby in a good permanent, which we probably won't, we can get top 6. Dalby's been brilliant. I want to see who Critchley signs and then how he plays after January, but I can't see him getting to the end of the season. If we're still in the same position come March, after his other January window, I think the board may have to act. Now, I don't want them to, but I think if we've not improved after January, then there's got to be questions asked, not just if Critchley got off the board. And then it's analytics that brought Critchley on. Hearts would love a guy like Austin Smith, such a strong creative force middle of the park. You look so flat in midfield. It's mental with Dandon Spittle playing. I mean, generally, I've said it before, I've been so frustrated with Dander. He's not offered anything like what I thought he would. Blair Spittle, on the other hand, has been really good. But yeah, Dander's been really poor. Like that cameo I had yesterday for 20 minutes, he was awful. Like nothing went right for him. He was so poor. And then that one in the end of the game where he runs the ball out of play, I mean, that just sums his game up just fine. But then Dander might play against Ross Kent, be the best player in the park, and we win the game. Swings are in a bit, I suppose, but now that we've committed to Critchley, I think we should give him to the end of the season regardless, then bring in a new manager at the end of the season so they have similar. But the problem is, though, if we are in relegation trouble, I don't think Critchley will get that time to sort it out. Like Daniel Stendel. You know, I kind of feel sorry for Stendel. I think he was the right guy at the wrong time. I think he had a game plan, but I don't think he had the players to do it, personally. And then he didn't get a chance to. I think Stendel would have got us at the Championship playing better football than we did under Robbie. Genuinely, I do. But he wasn't given the chance to stay. And he only signed 4 players in the window in January. He got Marcel Langer, who was crap, Toby Sibic and Liam Boyce, who were decent, and Donis Abdiya, who was crap. So he got 2 right and 2 wrong, but that was all he had. One window to sign 4 players. It's not. I don't think it's really that long enough. We needed more players in, but yeah, I mean, I honestly think if Stendel had stayed, he would have got us up first time of asking, no problem playing better football, but we'll never know. It's a bit like the whole George Burley thing. Like I said at the time, if George Burley stayed, we're on the league. We'll never know now, of course. Hearts in a relegation battle, we are fighting for Europe. I thought it would be the opposite. Alexander, so did I, mate. I think we all did. The only way we stay up is if St John's and continue to be as shit as they have been. But that's the concern, though. Like, we shouldn't even be thinking that, and we are. Like, we're hoping that St Johnstone struggle for us to stay up. That's embarrassing for this team. I said it in one of the videos I did a few weeks ago. £16.5 million wage bill. And we're sitting second bottom behind Ross County. And I'm sorry to any Ross County fans watching this, but Ross County are not a great side. But they have something that we don't have, and that's steel. They've got determination, they've got grit, they've got guts. We don't have any of that. Like, I wouldn't want to be in the trenches with half of that Hearts team because it's just let you down. And you can't be in the trenches with Benny because they probably get injured. With St Johnstone, no, if you guys go to play them, there's no doubt they play them nicer football. Honestly, the problem if you struggled in Perth. Yeah, I mean, we played St Johnstone last week, beat them 2-1, and I didn't think they were good. Like, I thought they were quite poor, surprisingly. First half, we were really good. I understand the anger at Anne, but the third relegation 10 years caught made no sense for me. She was left in a mess for the first time and put in a mess by the SFA for the second. She is still a big part of the problem. She's appointed these managers. She appointed Craig Levine. I didn't. Nobody else did. She appointed Ian Cathro. She appointed Ian Cathro because Craig Levine told her to. She then didn't sack Levine, which she should have done when we were in relegation trouble. And then she's presided over failures. She's presided over failures, so it is partly her fault. If we get relegated, we'll be fucked. We'll probably come back up. I've said that this team doesn't have the mentality or quality to deal with relegation battle. 2019-20 side had more grit about them. I mean, the 2019-2020 squad, I've been asked what's the better team, this one or that one. I think if you look at player for player, this is probably better, but the other team had a bit more something about them. But yeah, also, that 2019-20 team had Joel Pereira in goal, who I've constantly said is the worst keeper I have ever seen at Hearts. Thank God we got Craig Gordon back. If you get relegated, you get a nice trophy. Mate, if we get relegated, I think I'll be done with Hearts. I'll be generally honest. I can't do another relegation again, man. We shouldn't be in this position, but here we are. And we deserve to be in it. Like, I can't say that we're unlucky because we're not. We deserve to be where we are. Now, in terms of Ross County on Sunday, like I said, the team, I don't know what he's going to do. I would probably bring Forrester back in at right back. I think he looks better going forward. Obviously, Benny's out, so Boateng will come in. But I would rather maybe have Macaulay Tate in there. Maybe even change formation. Like, go 4-3-3. Try something different. We need to do something, because we have to win. A draw is no good. We have to win. And Ross County and Dingwall is a really difficult game. Although Neil can be questioned, it comes down to the players just as much. Not one bit of fight and grit, especially from the captain, which simply isn't good enough at all. I would agree with your point, Connor. I think there's too many players on that team that just aren't fighting for the badge. I would excuse Penrice, Spittle, Devlin, Halkett to an extent. But apart from that, nobody else. Like, there's not enough fight in that team. They look like a team that just isn't trying. Lawrence Shanklin, you could see that he was angry yesterday, but I don't know what he was angry about, whether it was his teammates, whether it was his own game, I don't know. But I want to see more from all of them. And Sunday is now our biggest game of the season. We lose this, we're 5 points behind Ross County. That's desperate. And then I am hoping that by the time we play Motherwell on the 2nd, that the January window opens on the 1st of January. I'm hoping we've got at least 2 new players in for the Motherwell game. Because if we don't, and we have to go in with a squad, I'm going to be worried. I'm so happy I've had one manager for more than a year. It's historic. I would be done too. To be fair, I would find the championship fun in a way. I enjoyed it first time, Gorgie, because it was different. I mean, we were there with Rangers and Hibs, and we won it really comfortably, like the most points ever. But I don't want to do it again. Like, I never thought we'd be in this position again, and here we are. And we deserve to be in it. It's our own fault we're in it. Where do you think we would be if we had Hogmo instead of Critchley? No one knows. Like, I couldn't tell you that because I don't know what it was like. Graeme, talking a one-way flight to Liverpool if Hearts get relegated. Mate, at least one of my clubs is doing well this season. Liverpool are flying. But I'm not going to say we're going to win the league. There's a long way to go. I'm going to rule Man City out. Famous last words. It's between Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea. Arsenal obviously play tonight. They'll beat Ipswich comfortably. Chelsea were really poor yesterday. But yeah, honestly, if Liverpool win the league, I'll be gone. I'll be away for dust. Like, to be fair, there's a core group of the players at this club that got two, possibly three managers to sack. It's not good enough. Need a massive clearance in January, rest in the summer. The problem is, though, who's going to take half these players? Who's going to take George Grant, Barry Mackay, Liam Boyce? Who's going to take them? Because if you're looking at it, I wouldn't take them if I was at another club. But yeah, I mean, Critchley's got a lot of work to do in January, and he knows that as well. I mean, right now, the priority is a striker. We have to bring a striker in with pace and two wide players with pace because we've got nothing out wide. And I don't know how many times Michael Stewart said this, and I agree with him, although I don't like it. I do agree with him. We have no pace out wide. Like, I long for the days of, like, I look at Nicholas Kuhn, for example, at Celtic. A winger that gets the ball and his first thought is take his man on. I look at Ben Doak from Middlesbrough. His first thought, head down, take a player on. I don't see that at Hearts. Our wingers get the ball and go back the way. I don't want to see that. Go and attack him, man. Take him on. Be aggressive. Be positive. We don't have that. I still can't get over Hibs beating Hearts at Tynecastle. Hearts fought more at Easter Road than they did at Tynecastle. I mean, let's be honest. Hibs had to win at Tynecastle eventually. It's been 5 years. But what frustrates me more is the performance. Like, I can take getting beat. I've said it before, but it's the way we get beat. Like, the lack of fight, the lack of passion, the lack of any kind of spark at all. That's what frustrates me more than anything. I think Hearts are going to turn it around. I hope so. But right now, I'm not seeing any signs of that. Like, we beat St Johnstone at one step forward, two steps back. Beat St Johnstone and lose yesterday. We might beat Ross County, but we might lose to Motherwell. There is no consistency. Oh, come on, Graeme. The league's done. I'm not afraid to say it. Robbie, I'm not going to say it, mate. I'm not falling into that trap, because if I say it, I'm going to look like a mug when we don't win it. But yeah, I mean, we're looking very good. I mean, you've got Mo Salah in form, Cody Gakpo in form. Although Darwin Núñez is fucking brutal. I'm going to be honest, he's terrible. Arsenal game has just started. They'll beat Ipswich about 4-0, I think. Arne Slot has took Klopp's squad and has only improved. He's an incredible manager. This is the thing. A lot of folk look at it and say, oh, you know, Slot's not done that much. I think he has. Because it can be very difficult to come into a new club when you've had a guy like Klopp at the club for so long and kind of try and change a little bit. But he's done a brilliant job. Like, we've lost one game all season, that Nottingham Forest game, which still frustrates me. But yeah, it's been fantastic. And we're top of the Champions League. Liverpool are going great guns. I know he was a joke, but at least Tagawa offers something different up there. Yeah, I mean, I actually thought, end of the season, last season, they got those 2 goals. He scored against Rangers, scored against St Mirren. I thought, right, let's give the guy a chance. And then what do? We let him go. But he wanted to leave, which is understandable, but we then don't bring anyone else in, which I just don't understand. Thoughts on the video by Joe Newell saying that he's going to batter the Jambo Bastards. You know what? I don't mind. He's a Hibs man. He's told the Hibs fans he's going to win on Boxing Day. I've got no issue with it. I'd be the same if Hearts did that. You know, it's banter. Dundee haven't won at Tannadice in 20 years. Is that right? That's a mental stat. We need left winger 2, right winger 1, striker, CM, centre back 2, right back. We're never going to get all that. Absolutely no chance. You might be lucky to get maybe 4 in the door in January. More will come in the summer. But we have to stay up. Darwin Núñez or Liam Boyce. Oh, mate. Can I have Mario Balotelli instead? Núñez, probably. Do you think being out the Conference League will help playing midweek when most other teams didn't with a burden? It's a good question. And I thought it would, but it didn't make any difference yesterday. Now, I think it might. I'd rather be in Europe, though. I wanted the money. I wanted the prestige. I want to see who we get in the next round playing European football after Christmas. But yeah, it probably will help. But it hasn't helped so far. But we'll see what happens, though. Boys. But I mean, going into Sunday, it's such a big, big game. Like, Ross County and Dingwall are a really difficult side to beat. But it's a game we have to win. Like, this is the biggest game of the season for us now. And I feel like I've said this every week, but this is now the biggest game of the season. If we lose 5 points behind, it's going to be very difficult to pull that back. Will Aberdeen turn their form around? I think they will, but it's worrying, the slide they've had. And I honestly think, and I will say this, I said it weeks ago, I think losing 6-0 to Celtic in that cup game has completely screwed them. I think they've lost a lot of confidence from that. Because a lot of folk went into that game thinking they'll cause Celtic problems in this cup game. And then Celtic blew them away. And they've never looked the same since. It's like the confidence completely shot. I think that's what's caused it, personally. That's the other thing. How did you go into the season when you knew you were playing with Europe with Liam Boyce? It's generally a shambles. It is, mate. It absolutely is. And then you've got, on our European games, who's sitting in the studio? Stephen Naismith. Oh, the irony. Wouldn't mind if Hibs signed Rolls as a striker. Halkett definitely showed you wanted it. Hats off to him. Macaulay Tate or Grant? Macaulay Tate every day of the week. Grant's been here over 2 years now. He's scored a few goals, don't get me wrong, but he's not shown enough for me. I'd rather have Macaulay Tate. I'd rather have Bobby McCluckey out wide than Oda or Wilson or Oda or Musa just now. I want something different. Mitov has saved him so much as well. He has. I think they have missed Papa Gay. Start of the season, Papa Gay was doing very well for Aberdeen. They've lost that now. Nisbet's not quite at it yet, but they will be better, I think. Hearts and Aberdeen can't both have a good season at the same time. No, it's strange, eh? Like, we have a good season, Aberdeen are crap. Aberdeen are poor, we have a really bad. Aberdeen are good, we have a really poor season. It's one of these things. But yeah, I mean, my prediction for Sunday, I genuinely don't know what it'll be. I mean, we have to win, but I just don't see we're going to. I saw George Grant and Adam Ida on Princess Street the other day. George Grant's just one of these guys that doesn't do enough. Like, I've not been impressed with him since he's been here. I actually think Aaron McInniff was a better player than George Grant. I said it previously. 1-1 for the Hearts game on Sunday. Do you know what? That's where I was going with that as well, Robbie. And we need to win. A draw's no good, but I think, honestly, a draw might be what we're going to get. If we get beat by Aberdeen, I'm going to cry. Nothing's given me confidence to back Hearts. No, mate, it's not from me either. Like, I would love to sit here and say Hearts will turn it around, we'll go to Dingwall and win 3 or 4-0. We won't. We genuinely won't. Kevin Nisbet's still underwhelming. I was gutted when he didn't come back to his, but I'm actually relieved. See, a few weeks ago, we played Aberdeen at Tynecastle, and I genuinely sat there and said to my laddie, I'm worried, because Kevin Nisbet was on the bench. And I thought, I know what's going to happen here. Nisbet will come on and score against Hearts. Thankfully, he didn't. But that is my worry. I think 1-0. The problem I've got, Sean, is we can't keep clean sheets. Like, in 28 games this season, we've kept 4 clean sheets. We don't keep clean sheets. And we've conceded 42 goals. It's not good enough. We are so easy to score against. Like, defensively, we don't do enough to keep teams out. And you can't keep having Craig Gordon having to make great saves every week. You need to do more. But it's not just defensively, it's midfield as well. They've got to show more. Everyone's got to do more. It is very frustrating. I said before that it's more apathy now than anger. I can't wait till Rangers play you soon. Only banter. Listen, Rangers will probably hammer us, to be honest. County away is never easy to go. Another big game for Hearts, which is sad to say. I genuinely believe this is our biggest game of the season. We lose this, I genuinely don't know where we're going to go. I honestly don't. Now, it's funny because Scarves Are in the Funnel, the podcast I listen to, the Hearts podcast, a really good podcast actually. They put on Twitter earlier on today, where do we go from here? And I said down, because that's generally the only place I can see us going. We're not going to go up the way because we're fucking awful. If we don't get Dalby, I would want Ayunga as he fits our system. David Watson at Kelly, a good player to sign. His attacking midfielder has got a lot of potential. I mean, we are sadly lacking all over the park. The only thing that works for us right now is the left-hand side with Penrith and Spittle. That's it. And Craig Gordon and goal. That's it. Nothing else of that team works. Honestly, it's so frustrating watching us just now. And like I said, one of my mates said he's done with Hearts just now. And I get where he's coming from. Like, it's so frustrating watching us just now. There's no real positivity. You go into every game now, it's a chore watching us. Get a count for how many times you say biggest game of the season. Oh, mate, I say it every week because it genuinely feels like that just now. But Sunday it's a 6-pointer. Hearts take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Every signing has said they know what it means to play for a big club, then show absolutely fuck all. I agree with that, mate. That every player does say that. You know, they come to Hearts and they see the reputation. They know what it's like to play at Hearts. They know how much the derby means. Do you? Didn't see that yesterday. I didn't see how much that meant to you. I didn't see any anger or any hurt after that game yesterday. I saw a bunch of cowards walking off that park. And it is no surprise that Hearts fans and hospitality were going mental at Lawrence Shankland yesterday. You know, like I said in the video earlier, I get why Scott Wilson said what he said about like being quiet, but fans are angry, and rightly so. We took a shot every time you said I'd be pissed in 5 minutes. His players are looking more happy for the past 6-7 games. I said a couple weeks ago that if Hibs didn't sack David Gray, they'd be in relegation trouble. I was wrong. Another thing I got wrong. I feel like you and Cameron, constantly making bad predictions. I'm not making a prediction ever again. I'll take a Mars bar and a kebab pie and I'll think about it. Honestly, it's brutal. Like, there's no excitement watching Hearts just now. I felt like that yesterday. I gave up Hearts, but give it till Sunday or Motherwell. Thing is, I love my club. I've loved my club since 1987. I love my club, but I don't like them just now because they're causing me just nothing but fucking tragedy just now. What are we going to gain by giving abuse to Shank? We need to get behind the score and not put them down. Yeah, but fans are angry. Like, we've just looked. Yesterday wasn't a normal game. It was a derby game. And Shanklin was poor. I get why fans are angry at hospitality yesterday. Not to brag too much, but St Mirren actually finished third. I'm optimistic. Robbie, I'm going to mute you. I'm joking. Listen, St Mirren have had a really good season. I'm really impressed. But so have Motherwell. So have Dundee United. So it's just about every club above us just like a better season than us. But it's horrendous. And like I said, the left-hand side is our only positive. Penrith is the only positive I can take out this season so far. He's been our best player. Our left back is our best player. That's quite sad. I thought start of the season it'll be Shankland again. That clearly hasn't happened. But anyway, yeah, Sunday's huge, and I just hope Critchley can turn it around. But I'm looking at January now. January is going to be massive. I honestly think if we can bring in 5 or 6 players of quality, we could turn it around. But they've got better what we've got. We can still get third. Hearts, can't we? Fuck. From fourth to bottom, it's generally so open. I love my club, but we need a new owner for financial stability, in my opinion. Listen, I love Hearts to bits. Like, they're pretty much my whole life just now. I live and breathe Hearts, but right now I don't like them very much because they're putting me through this pain just now. But that's football for you. Ups and downs. I've lived with it for years. The ups and downs supporting a football club. Can you see Shanklin go in January or new contract to go for a free? I think he'll go for a free. I think he'll stay in January because right now, who's going to want him? Let's be honest. I think he'll go for nothing in the summer, which is fine if it happens. It's what it is. Didn't United there was a Saudi guy who's in charge for money? Am I just making that up? Maybe making that up. You might be right. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go before I ramble with even more. But thank you, as always, to everyone that's joined the comments. It is much appreciated. Thank you for anyone that's subscribed. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. As I say, it's much appreciated. Roll on Sunday. Let's see what happens with Hearts. Hope you all have a great last couple of days and enjoy your weekend, folks. See you, people.